Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles Long, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Jake Glow. How are you doing today, Jake?
Doing all right, Charles. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I woke up today at like 6 a.m. and I was like, it's Saturday, and I went back to sleep, and I woke up at 12, and I was like, yes. And I got out of bed.
Well, I woke up today at 7 a.m. and was like, shit, I didn't write a pitch this week. I've got an hour, and so I wrote a pitch.
That's good. I usually write my pitches like right after we finish recording. Like, I'll just jot down an idea, and then I'll develop it throughout the week.
See, sometimes I get lucky, and I get bored, and I come up with an idea like at a random time, and then I just I go in and I write out the pitch, and those are usually my better ones. And then sometimes, like today, I'm like, I forgot. I gotta write something real quick.
Yeah.
It's like the day before. In this case, the hour before.
Yeah.
In one case, like during the podcast, while you were in the bathroom.
Yeah, that was a good pitch. What pitch was that again? Was that Red Strings? Yeah. I like that one. And I also sometimes I cheat because I have a list in my phone of like TV show ideas I had before we started this podcast. So
see, I had something like that too, but I already ran through all mine.
I don't use it very often, so if I'm the last one we recorded, the one in space, the space 7-Eleven, which hasn't been released yet. But it will have been released by the time this podcast comes out, but it hasn't been released yet. At time of recording, I had that like 2 years ago. I just never really developed it,
fleshed it out.
Yeah. But you want to tell us about the pitch for a television program that you have for us today?
Yeah, so I don't really know what's going on, but like my last two pitches, I think, maybe just my last pitch actually, have been like parodies on sitcoms. And this one is also a parody on sitcoms.
Good. I love a sitcom.
So I think you're going to like this. So it's called The Rim. And it's about it's a colony sitcom about people trying to survive on like an outer rim planet in space. So like, let's say humanity is expanded. We found aliens and stuff. Now we have some sort of like, there's like sort of a galactic circle of planets, like as we sort of spread out. And there's like the known galaxy. Then there's like the very edge of the known galaxy. And then there's what we don't know, what people are still trying to explore.
Yeah.
And this is a planet on the very edge.
Oh.
And our characters are colonizing it.
I assume you put quotations around the colonizing.
Why?
I don't know, just the way you said it made it sound like you put quotations around it like they weren't doing.
Well, because colonizing kind of has a bad sort of meaning to it.
Yeah, terraforming.
Like, it's sort of it's kind of more like you know how the British just sort of slop people in Australia? It's like that, but like if there wasn't anyone on Australia also.
Yeah.
Because it's just empty. So
So there are no aliens?
No, there is aliens. There's just none on this planet.
Oh, okay.
That we know of yet. Oh.
Ooh. It's a little sizzle for the boys.
Yeah. So, also it's a huge planet, so even if there is people on it, like, there's a lot of space.
Yeah, it's like the size of Jupiter.
Yeah, so I've got a couple characters for you. I guess I'll run through them first. So we have Val. Val is on the run for selling drugs to minors illegally. So it's legal to sell drugs, and it's legal to sell drugs to minors, but you need a license.
Oh, okay.
And Val did not have a license.
That's funny.
So Val's on the run.
Is it like heroin or like weed?
I feel like, you know how you just made up a drug name for the 7-Eleven one? It's kind of like that. It's just like, there's just a lot of drugs now that like, it's just going to be some weird name.
But
it
is
doesn't
it
really
like,
sound like a drug. I think it might call it like Skittles or something.
Is it like something real bad that you shouldn't be selling to kids, or is it like Adderall? Or it doesn't really... Like, kids probably shouldn't take it, but it's not gonna... No one's gonna die.
I feel like it's gonna sort of evolve, so whenever people ask Val about like the system, like the thing, sometimes Val will explain like, oh well, I sold like this drug, and it's like, oh, all it does, it's like Adderall, like it doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
And
all
then
it does is make
Val also sold like the kids like Blurb and Schmirk, and Blurb and Schmirk is like the worst drug ever. Like you will be like in like a high coma for like a year or something.
Oh, okay, very nice.
It's like it like forcibly puts you into a coma or something like that.
But you're high.
Yeah,
for a year.
It's just like blissful, happy existence. But you're kind of useless.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Val has a chemical fascination, obviously. Big drug runner. Probably tries some drugs every once in a while. Val weirdly always has drugs on her. Like that's her thing. She always has drugs. No one really understands it because they're like on a planet in the middle of nowhere. There's like no way you can get drugs. But Val has some sort of route that gets her drugs, and she's always selling drugs too.
She's got like I am imagining her as just like walking around, and she's got a big overcoat. She's like, hey, you need a watch? And she just like opens her coat, and there's like a line of watches. And she's like, need some drugs, kid? And there's she's just got like a huge amount of drugs.
It's like a crazy amount. She's like going through the names, like, yeah, this is Fergan Schmertz. This is Blurg. We got some Skittles. We got some like some of the names are just like normal. Yeah. Like they're like Kellogg's cornflakes, and people are like, holy shit, you have those? Like,
you have Kellogg's, bro? Yeah, motherfucker, I got Kellogg's. What does this look like? Fucking Little League bullshit? I got Kellogg's for days, son. And then she'll be like, also, here's some cocaine. She's just also got regular drugs.
I was thinking maybe she could be like, and I got sugar. And they're like, fuck, you got sugar? And then she's like, oh, no, I mean like normal sugar, not like the drug sugar. Like the sugar. That's like a huge confusing part. Like maybe every time they say like certain food, she's like, wait, you have that? Like, how did you get that here? I can't even get that. And they're like, no, like the normal thing, not like the drug name.
Yeah, it's like if you put sugar on your cornflakes, that's either like a breakfast, like a normal breakfast, or just a drug cocktail that will put you in a coma.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe they've got like a cabinet. This could be like a gimmick in one of the episodes that has like normal sugar and drug sugar, and they're both next to each other, and they look exactly the same. And like maybe one of the characters is like unsure, like which one do I grab? And
they like put a little bit on like a spoon. They put like take 2 spoons, put one on each, and like give it to somebody. Be like, can you taste this? And then they forget which spoon they put the drug sugar. Like they forget they didn't mix up the spoons, normal sugar. And they were just like, "Fuck! Oh, okay, I gotta do that again." Yeah, and, I like
that. Her last little thing is that she has a drug for every situation. So this, like, we're in space now. Okay, there is a drug for everything.
Yeah,
she has a drug that like makes her better at doing like construction work. Makes her better like at growing plants and shit, makes her better shot, like all this weird shit. Like there's always a drug to fix the situation.
You got some slow-mo here that'll make you feel good. Have you ever seen the movie Dread? Yeah, it's like that.
It's like the equivalent of like Batman's utility belt. Like she has a solution for every problem with the drug.
But it's narcotics. I love that. That's great.
I'm thinking like sometimes like when they're in a really bad situation, she's like, I got a drug for this, but like I don't know. The side effects are pretty bad, man. Like, I don't know if we want to take it. It might be better to die this way than what might happen with the drug.
Yeah, and somebody's like, just give it here, and they like snort some of it or smoke it or whatever. And they're like, all right, let's do this, and they like kill everyone that's in their way. But then they like slowly start turning into a gelatinous like blob. They're like, oh yeah, all your bones are melting. So
why didn't you say that beforehand? You said you didn't care about the side effects. So.
Yeah, you didn't give me a chance. You just snorted it.
All right. Our second character is Kareem. Kareem is a former professor that got caught up in a scandal and was forced to flee.
Was the scandal they was banging his students?
No, see, he was from a very proper planet where scandals were often very minor, but treated with very harsh punishments.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be brought up till later where you find out his scandal when they ask him about it. But his scandal was that he just ordered some wine on a lunch dating with his boss, or lunch meeting with his boss, which you're not allowed to do. That's like big no. You got to drink. You can't have alcohol on a meeting with your boss. So he was forced to flee the planet in fear of death, and now he's living on the Outer Rim.
Yeah, but I'm imagining he's come from like a very proper background, so he's not used to
he's
doing
so
physical
useless.
labor.
He's smart, but he lacks street smarts and like useful skills. He's a professor of anthropology, which will come into use later, but it's not like what are you gonna do with anthropology on a colony?
What are you gonna do with
anthropology? If this was a zombie apocalypse,
period?
that's like you could be an archaeologist, but like that's not super useful.
Yeah, I'm not taking. If we're going, Harrison Ford characters on a zombie apocalypse, Indiana Jones is my last choice.
I mean, Indiana Jones is a pretty good choice, but he's not the.
He's not
average,
Indiana Jones. He's
like,
basically our Indiana Jones character.
Yeah, that's basically what we have, except maybe a little bit more useless.
Yeah, not as.
And so then we have Myra, who is a poor traveler who's seeking religious freedom. And so she moved out into the Rim so she could have religious freedom. What's funny about her, though, is that she's Christian. And Christianity's not big anymore, which she's pretty upset about. Like, the new big thing is Norse paganism again. They, like, brought it back.
I love that.
And it's kind of... It's weird, because religious persecution isn't like, you get murdered or something, right? They don't string you up on a cross or something. They just sort of make passive-aggressive insults and comments to you.
They're like, blood of Christ, blah, blah, blah. She's gets
like, they're like, this girl believes in, like, a dude coming back from the dead. Like,
magic babies? What are you fucking talking about? He's a carpenter? A carpenter can't make water into wine. Only Thor can do that.
And so she fled, obviously, to escape this persecution. And they have like a rule on the colony that they're like not allowed to make comments about her religion. That's like a big thing. But they're sort of like the passive aggressive comments where like they're kind of just fly a little bit on the radar where they make fun of her religion just a little bit. Just like so it's not too much that she'll get upset. And angry. But she's important because she was a poor farmer. And so she's the only one that knows how to farm.
So she's so far she's the only one who's useful and not a criminal.
Yeah. So yeah, basically the only one that's useful. Okay. So she's also very nice. Forgot to mention that. Very nice person. A very sweet, kind person. So that's why they don't really want to make fun of her religion because she's so nice to everyone. But they find it kind of ridiculous. Like, she's, like, doing, like,
she's praying, and it's like, you have to sacrifice
like she's eating,
goat.
like, the body and blood of Christ, and they're like, is she eating the blood of her God? That's so fucked up.
It's pretty metal, but Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God.
When we want to talk to our gods, we have to, kill a goat.
Yeah, like, we just kill a goat. She's fucking drinking his blood.
Or sacrifice a virgin.
That's pretty fucked up, man.
Yeah. And maybe she's got, like, she misses the point for a lot of things. She reads the Bible. She has the Bible, but it's, like, an abridged version. And she doesn't, like, get she reads, like, Jonah and the Whale, and she's like, the moral of this story is, never go in the ocean. It's never a good idea.
That's a good one, because maybe they could go to, like, an ocean or something. Like, oh, we found the water, and they're all playing, and then, like, why aren't you coming in? She's like, the whale, man. The whale.
You don't fuck around with a whale, man.
Maybe they're, like, really far out in the water, and you can, like, hear her screaming in the background at them, like, get out of the water! Get out of the water!
And then
like, do you hear something?
And then a giant land whale comes and swallows her. And the B-plot of the episode is her trying to escape, and she actually learns the lesson.
Yeah.
Of Jonah and the Whale. And it's like, this book's... Some of his stuff is kind of a little silly. Land whales are much more dangerous than sea whales.
Yeah. Because it's like an alien planet, so you can really just pop in any creature you want.
Yeah. And it's
All right,
like,
then
if
we've
you
got-
ever... She's like, if you ever get swallowed by a creature, what you have to do is stab it till it dies. That's like the lesson she learns.
That's the lesson,
and you'll eat well for many months.
Exactly. That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
Next, we got Victor.
Mhm.
Victor is our
Victor
last
Stone.
principal character, so it's going to be these 4 living on the colony alone for a little bit. Victor is a gambling addict on the run from his debt.
Okay.
He has a background in construction, so he's sort of like the builder of the group. But he's always trying to gamble with everyone on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every little thing, like from collecting wood for the house. He's like, trying to bet you that he can get more wood, and if he wins, he gets like your food for dinner or something like that. And he's always like paranoid that like the gambling debtors have found him.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time they run into a new person, he's like, oh shit. Yeah, he's like, he takes them aside and like puts a gun to their head and he's like, where are they? Are you with like the gambling syndicate? And he's like, no, we're just travelers. Like, please.
Please stop. I'm so scared. No, we're not with the balls of our gang. We're just trying to find somewhere to plant our seed. And he's like,
is that a code word? That's the code word. You know that they're the Cedars. That's the name of the gambling syndicate.
It's like, is that a euphemism? Are you guys trying to start a sex? You guys trying to fuck the ground? Because I will
pretty
bet
messed
you.
up. I mean, I can't kill you on that, but like,
I will bet
up,
you some fucking a lot of money that I can fuck the ground better than you can.
Oh my god. All right,
Yeah.
so our
I like
pilot
these
episode
characters.
is going to focus on these 4 and an additional character on a ship being flown by a captain. Like, he's sort of like the refugee guy. Like, they paid him a couple $100. He's flying them in a new planet and to drop them off.
Mm-hmm.
On the ship is those 4 and another guy named Jefferson Ellard III, and he's a rich old man with like a bunch of cool stuff, and he's just sort of like, he's rich and he's bored of like normal life. Like, he's tried every drug. He's done everything you can do, and he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go just try to survive on the outer rim.
Yeah.
Like, I think that'll be fun.
He's like 230 years old, and like
Mostly like robot limbs.
yeah, Val walks up to him and is like, "Hey, old man, you want to try some Skittles?" And he's like, "Please, darling, that's
I
pedestrian."
invented Skittles.
Pedestrian, darling. I was doing Skittles before your mother was born. And he's like super old. He was like, I was on the first spacecraft that they launched to Venus. Yes. Lost my virginity on Venus to a Venetian. It's like, no aliens were discovered on Venus. It's like, oh yes, that's what I meant the tree. He's just a crazy old man.
Yeah, he's just saying things that like obviously aren't true. They're like, okay, you're old, but like you're not old enough to be on the first spacecraft, like out of Earth. Like that's not true.
That was 6,000 years ago. And I was like, yes, I remember it well. The Beastie Boys are very big. Beastie, what the fuck is he talking about?
So they're flying over the planet, and so as they're like flying over, the captain's like, the rich guy paid me to like actually drop him off, and he wanted to be dropped off alone. So I'm gonna have to fire you all off in escape pods.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, wait, what? And then he just presses the button, and they all drop.
Yeah. And
apparently, like their seats were actually just like drop pods ready to go.
Yeah, it like just clanks, like a metal thing clanks over them, so they can't leave, and it just drops. And in each like escape pod is like a little gift baggie you would get at like a wedding or a bar mitzvah or whatever. And it's got like, plant this and you'll be able to grow an apple tree. And it's like, he didn't give us any fucking water. What are we gonna plant it with?
There's like they're like, oh, here's some milk for when you make coffee, and like there's like other like accessories to other food. And they're like, we don't have the other food. And
it's like, here's some chopsticks and some chili powder. It's like, we need something. Bread would be nice. And then
there's like one granola bar maybe.
Yeah. Per bag, and they like the gambler just starts betting for granola bars, and he just keeps losing them. And by the end of the episode, he's like half the weight he was when he got there.
Yeah.
Because they've just been starving.
And so they all land, and they land pretty close to each other. But they they were all coming out here expecting kind of like more, and they get into an argument, and they sort of split up. And so each of them sort of tries to survive on their own for a little bit. Eventually they come around, though, because Victor is the only one that can really build, and his house looks sick. And so they all like slowly move in with Victor. And so that's like the beginning of them as a colony. It's like, oh, okay, like Victor's the only guy that can like actually put stuff together.
Yeah, but like building has become so removed because it's like so far in the future. It's like he presses like 3 buttons on a little like tablet thing that he puts on the ground, and a house pops up. And he's like, "How'd you do that? That's amazing!"
Yeah, he brought like a little like auto builder thing with him.
Yeah,
that like helps out with the building process.
And like the Christian lady, I forget her name, is the only one who knows how to like make food. But
yeah, she's
like
not like a farm.
Growing food hasn't changed at all. So everybody's like, "This is so much work."
Yeah.
This is barely any. Can't we just go to the matter replicator? And it's like we don't have a matter replicator.
But she's very like kind and soft spoken. Mm-hmm. So she like every time they're like, "We need food," they're like having an argument about food, and she's like, "Well, I can plant," but everyone's like, "Shut up, Myra. We're focusing on something bigger right now. Like we need to get food." And so like they go out in a hunting party, and they're like trying to find food. They run into like some awful creature, like some sort of like bear mixed with like a tiger mixed with like some sort of like huge
slug monster thing,
and they're like. They like eventually kill it, but the meat is just like really awful. Like the way the meat is, it's just like already rotten because that's how the animal exists, like with already rotten meat.
It's like they take a bite of awful. They take a bite of it and it like melts their teeth off, and they're like,
we're good. And so they're coming back to camp like all tired and exhausted, and like, we're gonna have no food, we're gonna die out here. And she like finished the farm.
Yeah, she's got like a fruit salad, and she's like got a whole vegetarian like buffet out, and they're like, "Ugh, really, Myra? You couldn't have told us about this earlier. We spent all day hunting. Victor melted one of his teeth off, taking a bite of the animal. We bet him that it would be funny.
It would be funny, yeah." And so like they're like they're like yelling at her like, "What? How could you?" And she's like trying to speak up, and they're like, "No, shut up, Myra. No."
Oh, I feel so bad for Myra. So what happens to the old man?
We're gonna get there. Old man comes back later. So we're gonna run into like a peaceful, because the planet is not like completely uninhabited. So there's like other colonies. Like this captain's done like a couple trips, and he's like, "I just tell these people that the planet has no one on it, and I just drop them like off on opposite sides."
Yeah.
But he's done that like a lot of times.
So like 30 times. So they're just 30 separate colonies that have sprouted up from like 20 miles away
like
from
hundreds,
each other.
Because it's a big planet. So there's like hundreds of thousands of colonies like all set up, like full of like just like a couple of people. And so there's like one that's just like a few miles away from them. And it seems like a peaceful village, and they like meet them and they like share food. And these people, like the peaceful village has like a lot of meat, and it's like pretty cool. Like they always have like meat, and like they're tired of eating the vegetarian food that Myra provides. Yeah. They're probably shitting on Myra while they're talking about how great the meat is. Turns out they're actually like just really nice cannibals.
Yeah.
So all the meat's, it's cannibal meat.
It's people meat.
Yeah. And so they sort of have this like weird relationship that will turn sour because Val's selling them drugs. And, drug deal goes bad all of a sudden. She doesn't have what they want.
They have their forks and knives ready.
Yeah, they're coming at our people. We probably have like some epic siege scene where like we have all of our people in like the little like house they have that Victor built.
Mm-hmm.
And like all these thousands of cannibals are outside, like with pitchforks and guns and all that crazy stuff.
Forks and knives. And, they're like licking their lips. One of them's got like a salt shaker. And
they're like, "Sorry, it's not it's
nothing personal.
It's not personal. We're cannibals. We need to eat. This is the only way we can get food." And they're like, "Wait, this is the only way you can get food?" And Myra goes out, saves the day, and teaches them to farm. And so these cannibals just like are like, oh shit, this is so much easier. I don't have to like kill people.
Yeah. I don't have to feel morally like fucked up about eating man flesh.
Yeah, no, this whole man thing, like we didn't like doing it. It was just like the only way we could eat, you know?
Or maybe it's just like, we all have hepatitis. You can't eat us.
Yeah. I know that's another possible solution. But I kind of like the idea that afterwards, like, they still hang out and meet up with these cannibals and, like, trade with them. And they call them the cannibals. And they're always like, guys, come on, we don't do that anymore. Like, seriously.
Yeah, but how many months did you spend eating guys? Like, come on.
Come on, years.
You're the cannibals. It's fine. It's cool. Just accept it.
I think we'd call them, like, the cannibal cult or something like that.
But they're just real friendly.
Yeah,
they don't.
They're really nice. They're really sweet when they're killing you. Like, all right, we're gonna make this real quick, okay?
And
and don't worry, you'll taste real good. We're gonna put you on with salt. We're gonna marinate you.
Great. And maybe Myra
cook,
thinks about joining them because they're like no one makes fun of her religion.
Yeah, everyone's like really sweet over there.
And then
maybe she convinces them all to be Christian. Oh, that could be it. So she convinced them all to be Christian. Because it's like
the body and blood of Christ.
Because you have to eat the body and blood of Christ. Yeah. And so that's how like she convinces them not to kill them.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, we're part of the same religion as you guys. We're Christian as well.
Yeah. And then like everybody else is, we're not. And then she like elbows one of them. It's like we're all Christian. We all love
Christian. Yeah, Jesus.
Jesus.
We love eating them. You know,
Mary,
it's just so good, tasty.
Joseph, Sergio. Did you just name
Sergio?
Yeah, in the Third Testament. There's the Old Testament, the New Testament, and then the extra New Testament. The New Testament. It's like New York.
It's like New York. Yep. So maybe that's it. And so they like convince them not to eat them because they're Christian. I guess the cannibals could still be cannibals then.
Yeah. But they just like stay away.
They're like, yeah, they don't kill them anymore. And they could help them later, so maybe if they get in trouble with another tribe that's like attacking them, it's like the scene in Lord of the Rings when like what's it called?
The riders.
Like the Battle of Helm's Deep when like all the people, Rohan comes down the hill or whatever. We could have the cannibals coming down the hill to save them. They're like, the cannibals are here, the cannibals are here. Woo!
Yay! And I like the idea that their colony, for whatever their colony is, doesn't grow at all because all of these people are just like not nice to be around. So their colony stays at 4 people for the entirety of the show, but every other colony like starts out with like 20 people and just grows.
Yeah, and like slowly builds. It's like a normal civilization.
And theirs is just like nobody wants to spend time with each other, and nobody is like attracted to anyone else, so no one's having kids. So it's just it's just like.
And so you asked about the Jefferson Ellard III. So I think, I'm gonna need your help with this one because it's kind of an interesting decision. So Val is gonna find his bunker, and so this guy has like a really sweet situation. He has like this bunker in a mountain. It's got like all the fancy amenities you could ever want. It's like really nice. It's kind of like, you know, like he said he wanted to live on the a colony, but he's got like the fancy version of that.
Yeah.
Like it's just really sweet. And he like goes outside and has like maybe a cabin that he stays at every once in a while, but then he just goes back to his bunker.
He's got a cabin on top of the bunker, so it looks like he's been living harsh on the land in this like tiny wood
really,
cabin.
It's just, like this sweet bunker,
and then he
like really nice.
Walks in, opens opens a door, walks down, and it's like this palace under the ground. Yeah. He's got like a high-powered like plasma rifle outside that he like has mounted, and he every once in a while will shoot a gigantic animal, and the plasma rifle cooks it for him.
Yeah.
So he just like walks.
Yeah, he's got like it's like a turret. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So it just takes out for him. He doesn't even have to shoot.
And it just like it shoots the animal, kills it, and like cooks the animal. So he's just got like freshly cooked venison or alien meat whenever he's hungry.
Yeah.
He's got like
and maybe Val like comes up to the cabin and he's like, "Oh, I'm surprised you made it this far. I guess the turret's on the fritz. It should have killed you." It's a shame.
Darn. It's like, oh no, I snorted some Skittles and it cloaks me. It makes my body temperature below -3, so nobody can
Yeah,
notice
it's just
me.
like, yeah, I was really high. I didn't. I guess that maybe had something to do with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And so I don't know. Should she kill him and be like, "Hey guys, I just built this cool bunker.
Hey, come
Like,
on.
let's move in."
Or maybe,
Or should she or should they move in with him? Because he's got plenty of room.
I think that like they all like go up to him and make this really compelling case for why they should move in with him. And it's like, we could provide company, we could help you cook and clean and all this stuff. We'd be great roommates. We love you, please. And he's like, no. And then he turns around and accidentally like trips or slips on something and falls down the mountain that he's built his cabin on top of.
Yeah.
So he's just like, help me. My skin is like paper. I'm dying. And they're just like, Myra, no. No. The Good Samaritan didn't have a fucking bunker. We're going in. And they just like all go in and steal all of his like high-end technology. And they just like put it into their place. And then
so now they've got this like weird like mismatched place that has like all this crazy good stuff in it.
And also it's like a frontier town.
Yeah.
And maybe
Nice.
Val can run a bar, but they don't serve alcohol. She doesn't believe in
Just
alcohol.
drugs.
She's like, alcohol turns good men stupid and bad men mean. I don't believe in serving alcohol. And she just like hands out like, instead of you walk up to the bar and like, bartender, could I get one? And then she like slides you a tray, like a glass like tray that's got like 3 lines of cocaine on it. Just like, enjoy.
Maybe it could be like an ice cream shop where like the top like it's kind of like that in the sense that like she's behind the counter and they've got the glass and you can see like all the toppings, but the toppings are drugs.
Yeah.
And like the ice cream is like this it's like the substance that helps like melt them together so you can have like a nice drug cocktail.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. I would go to that.
That'd be pretty funny. But she like goes into like the full ice, like she has an ice cream outfit on, like ice cream parlor.
Oh yeah, she's like gone full. She's gone full native in the ice cream making business. She's all about it. She loves it.
It like looks like a kind of like ice cream place. It's got like the tile and it's very colorful.
Yeah, it's got like that 50s like, I'll have a malt and with a little cocaine sprinkle and Skittle flavor, please.
She's got like fucking roller skates on too.
Yeah, she's
when
gone.
She like delivers your order.
Maybe she's got like a little robot helper that's constantly like trying to warn people about the side effects.
Oh yeah, it used to be like a doctor robot for the old man, but she like hot wired it, and now it's just like this.
It's got like a tray on top of it. It's like an R2-D2, but it's got like a little robot face and a tray like soldered onto the top. So it just like vrooms around the ice cream store, like picking up and like handing out like different drug cocktails.
Yeah, but it's like still a doctor robot, so it's like, you really should not have this. This is like really extremely dangerous, and it starts listing off the side effects, and then they just like kick the robot away, and it goes back to Zal.
Like, I know.
I don't care.
And it's like 8 years. I fucking studied human biology for 8 goddamn years, and these people want me to serve them fucking drugs. Well, it's a living. and he's got like a little dog house in the back that he lives in. They don't let him sleep inside. It's like, I was attacked by 3, I don't know what they were. They were like coyotes, but they were bat-shaped. It was terrifying. I had to fight them off. I didn't have anything with me except for a bottle opener. I don't know what. I'm so scared. They're like,
I can't do this anymore.
I can't do this. And they're like, get back to work. Come on. No one's good. The bathroom's not going to clean itself. And it's like, there is a robot in the bathroom. That there is literally, it is a self-cleaning bathroom. And they're like, they throw like a tray at him. It's like, clean that up.
Like, go, come on. Fucking useless robot.
God damn it. Yeah, well, I think this is a great idea for a television program. I would definitely watch it.
Damn, sounded so scripted, Charlie. Wow.
Well, thank you very much, Jake. The television program was great. I love all the characters. I think they're very funny.
Am I talking to a soundboard right now?
Yes, you are. Hi. That's the soundboard. That's the only sound my soundboard makes.
God, I hope I cut that out.
I hope you don't. All right, well, I think that I would watch that show, for sure. I think it'd be good. You know? How long are you thinking the episodes would be?
Pretty short. Probably like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think... This is like probably an animated show, pretty short.
Yeah, I think that's a good...
Just get to the punchline and move on.
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, I like it. I like the idea. I think solid idea, even though you came out with it an hour before we did this. You did good work. And I would like to thank you for your pilot idea, your pitch idea, and for editing the podcast. And I would like to thank everyone who's listening right now for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast, hosted by myself, Charles Long, co-hosted by my very good friend Jake Gloth. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are sold, Google Play.
Except Stitcher.
Except for Stitcher. Stitcher can go suck a wang.
No, we talked about this last week, Charlie.
Yeah, then no, if Stitcher wants to partner up, we'd love to partner with Stitcher. We love you, Stitcher. I've never listened to Stitcher. I've never listened to anything on Stitcher. I don't know if you have either.
No.
But yeah, I would love to. If you want to, Stitcher, we love you. And I would like to thank this week's sponsor.
Oh my God.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Get the bell in your tacos. That's their.
I heard they're doing a VRP taco.
Yeah, it's like it's a hard shell with a soft shell inside, and inside of the soft shell is a pitch.
A pilot. Yep.
Just a pilot idea.
It's like a fortune cookie, but it's a TV show pilot.
But also, it's underneath all of the meat and cheese and stuff, so you have to
you gotta like pull it out.
gotta-
Paper's gonna be a little soggy. It might be smeared a little bit.
you take a bite and you've got to like pull the paper out of
Also,
your mouth.
it's written in like a very toxic ink, so don't eat the taco.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. Don't eat anything at Taco Bell. It'll give you the shits.
Taco Bell's good.
I like Crunchwrap Supreme when I'm drunk. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Taco Bell's good when you're drunk. Thank you everyone for listening. Give us a like, subscribe, smash that bell, comment, tell your friends. If you were on a alien spaceship, what would your call sign be?
Call sign?
Yeah.
Hey, if you were going to live on the rim, why would you have to live on the rim? That's a better question.
Yeah, that is a better question.
Did you commit a crime? Did you accidentally convert to a
religion?
a cultish religion?
Are you a gambling addict? If so, tell us in the comments below. And also...
Okay, maybe don't tell us if you're actually a gambling addict.
Also get some help.
That question.
If you're a gambling addict, you
help.
should get some help. But also, tell the person you're getting help from about the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast.
Yeah, make sure, first thing, you're like, okay, like, I have a serious gambling problem. I really need help. But also, you should listen to this podcast. It's pretty sweet.
It's great. It's the best podcast ever. And thank you everyone for listening, and have a good day. Kisses.
Bye.